Do you think the influencer craze will eventually die out? Or is it here to stay? I don't really see social media disappearing anytime soon, and influencers are basically just a symptom of that. As long as platforms like Instagram and TikTok exist, there are going to be users that amass larger followings than the average user and attempt to monetize that audience. And that's all that defines an influencer really. It is not really a craze or fad. It is something almost as old as time itself. The only thing that changed is people started calling them influencers. They are not all even bad. It is just currently we are associating more morons to the term. Sometimes influence can be used for good. For example, when I was younger, two came to my mind: Bob Ross and Fred Rogers. Now you might think they are just TV personalities, not influencers. Well, that is just not true. Fred Rogers used high influence to push Congress into funding children's television so kids could watch age-appropriate TV. He also used his influence to take stands against racism and discrimination and tell kids that might not hear it at home that they are special and loved. Bob Ross used his influence to try his best to encourage people to express themselves through art and not sweat the little mistakes as they were just happy little trees. Eventually, a flood of talentless hacks trying to be influencers may die down and we can be left with more substances, and I think that is really what the spirit of your question was. It will change, but weirdly famous people will always exist. Like, people used to buy the sweat of gladiators back in ancient Rome. I agree that influencer culture can be annoying, but I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon. Social media is just too ingrained in our lives now. I don't see it going anywhere, just getting worse. There are influencers for all types of things. If you are interested in something, you'll probably find a talking head for it that has gained a following and can push products. With AI generation getting better and better, I foresee an auto AI sales influencer bot that creates on the fly. Whatever your algorithm is, you'll get a fake AI generated something or another that you're interested in that will push a product. Instagram. Here's an AI generated influencer that talks about your hobby while eating McDonald's in a relaxed way. Oh look, you started scrolling Instagram again 40 minutes later at a McDonald's. Now we know to show you passive advertisements on while talking about this hobby. So long as you can get paid to have followers, and so long as people need someone relatable, they will never stop being relevant. I think, for as long as social media as a concept exists, influencers will exist. It's just an obvious evolution of marketing to a technological change in how we consume media. Ultimately, it is successful in making money. If it wasn't, it would have died off by now. I suppose the only big factor is whether advances in AI marketing will become far more cost-effective. I look at influencers and think that people have forgotten to think for themselves. Isn't Amazon etc. just enough? When it no longer works for advertising, it will be something to laugh about eventually. It's a phase, AI will replace them and we won't even know. Sadly, it's here to stay, I think. Today's technology makes it trivial for somebody to improvise a studio-quality video shooting and editing setup to go out and record something, whatever the source or motivation, and strive to have it go viral. Unfortunately, that provokes many to up the ante in terms of being obnoxious in order to get those coveted eyeballs to view it and the meat sacks behind those eyeballs to share it. That can for those who make themselves well known enough and don't deep scroll that hill.com blogsblog briefing room news 537,840 Tennessee man wield a knife for prank robbery YouTube video in the process grant tons of visibility and potentially money. Please die out. Literally self-proclaimed experts on nothing. Influencers of the future will be AI-powered avatars. It's well beyond a craze at this point. Influencer is a job title. It's a career path. It's quite genuinely just a job you can have. Some people's jobs are putting out fires or performing risky surgeries. Some people's jobs are looking hot and taking brand deals. Most people I know don't follow or watch influencers. It's kind of a joke tbh. I figured they'd become more and more corporate until they are no different than a mainstream TV show host. Then a new class of authentic broadcasters will appear, then they'll all go corporate, and the cycle will continue forever. It's just a form of marketing. It's the same as commercials or ads on TV or streaming services, except its avenue is social media. No, it's not going anywhere. It will continue to adapt like every form of marketing. It's just advertising. Fashion models have been around forever, and their only talent is taking good photos, which doesn't really benefit society in any way. We can choose the media we consume. I'm not on FB, Instagram, or TikTok, so I don't really notice many influencers in my day-to-day life. Humans have always, generally, responded favorably to the sweet sound of silver tongues. Technology allowed the explosion of microphones for them to use. I sure fucking hope so. Our society has gone backwards ever since this social media bullshit started.